Alright, how's everybody doing? Uncle Dave from DC's Adventures. This is DC's Adventures Off the Grid Experiment Season 2. We're back up on the property. It's July 25th, 2014. We got the canvas tent all set up yesterday. Went fishing with my buddy tied inside this week. And now he's just taken off and left me up at camp. It's about 8 o'clock at night. It's just getting dark. We got a screen tent set up over here. We got a canvas tent set up over there. Here's the crafting bench and the fire. And we are glad to be back out in the woods because we've spent the last 45 days or so at my sister's house in the city, setting up some websites and setting up the YouTube channel and spending a lot of time on the internet trying to figure some stuff out since we have no service out here. So I'm all set up. This is day 1, July 25th, 2014 again. DC's Adventures Off the Grid Experiment 2004, Season 2. July 26, 2014. In the canvas tent, there's the Teton XL cot. Pretty comfortable. And there's a little military cot. Got our water stash, a Tupperware container full of our food stash. Day 3, Season 2. Glad to be out here. So in a couple hours here I'm going to put a fire together, and I think I'm going to do it by 18th century flint and steel. I've got a little leather pouch with a metal container in it I made my char cloth in last week, and I'll get some tinder together and maybe give you guys a quick look at how I process the tinder, get that fire started, and yeah, I'll be back when we get to that point. Alright, guys and girls, so it's the 26th, it's 1 in the afternoon. Look at how thick this forest is growing in over here, huh? I don't know if you guys, if you watched Season 1, you were here in spring, and yeah, there was nothing here. It was all bare. I was worried because I could see the neighbors from my property and it was bothering me. Well, you can't see the neighbors now, that's for sure. Growing in nice. Well, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been cutting trees all day and working on the right-of-way and building this. Man, it's like 500, I don't know, it's probably at least 700 feet of land I have to cross. So I'm cutting the woods out there. It's just thick woods, but I'm getting really hungry, so it's time to cook some food, get a fire going, and I'm going to try to set up this camera in a way where I can show you how I get my fire going. We're going to do it with flint and steel today. Here's the setup. It's in here. There's a metal pouch can in here. Has everything going on in there. But I'll set the camera up for a shot and get back to you guys with all the supplies I need to get this going. Alright, so here we are. You don't need as much char cloth as I got here, but I'm going to use a little more char cloth than we need to because I don't have a lot of tinder put together, and this char cloth is thicker than I usually would like it to. So you guys see this here? See this here? It's on the flint. Here's my steel here. Alright, there it is, see it? That is our amber. Put our flint down. That's why I used a large piece, because we'd have lots of time. I put it in here. This is our bundle here. It's a little jute. I carry jute with the some jute twine, natural twine. I carry that with my char cloth in the little tin. Man, this is not going very well, actually. Darn, we lost it. Maybe I didn't have enough jute there. I was trying to save it so we didn't use too much. Be right back. Alright, let's see if we can try this again. Everything's really damp out here, so it's not going to be easy. The tinder bundle. The bundle is really hard to find anything good right now. Alright, put the flint down. Got the char cloth lit. Looks like it's going good. Man. This jute should be lighting up at least. I don't know what's going on here. Damn. Went out again. This jute's not even lighting. I don't know what the deal is. Alright, hopefully third time's the charm, right guys? Alright, got it lit. Damn, this jute is not lighting. Yep, that didn't work out. No, I can't get this jute to light. Well, I don't know if it's the humidity or what. For some reason I can't get my jute to light, so we're going to do this the way I know how to do this. That was my first time trying to ever use flint and steel, and I think I need drier tinder than what I have here. But this should work no problem like this. Good old ferro rod always works, huh? Too hungry to mess around the other way. But I will come back and do another flint and steel video when I find some tinder that's a little bit better. For some reason my jute wasn't lighting. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out, but you'll see it again in a couple days here. Flint and steel. Ferro rod though works every time, eh? I'll come back. Okay, now we're about to try something else I've never done before. And that's, I'm going to try to bake some Bannock, but I'm going to do it without a Dutch oven. I'm going to use some aluminum foil and a couple aluminum pie pans put together and put the coals over that, and we'll see how it goes. When I have the dough all made up and have the pie pans together, I'll come back and give you guys a quick shot of that. Got that fire going good with the steel. It only took, ferro rod took 1 strike, the flint and steel, yeah, 3 strikes and I was out on that one. But we'll come back to that one for sure. Alright, here it is. I didn't show you the dough, it's in there. I don't know if you can see a little dough patty in there. I didn't do too much because I don't know how it's going to come out. We're going to kind of clinch the aluminum foil all around it. And we're keeping it just a little area open here so we can look into it if we need to without having to undo the entire thing. Let's see how it's coming along. And now I'll put coals all around it. I'll put it in the fire and put coals all around it. Those coals still have to burn down a little bit more. But yeah, after I put the coals on them and let it sit for about 15-20 minutes, I'll come back and just show you how it's looking. And we'll also put the grate on there and start cooking the sausages, 2 sausages I have. Okay, so there we go. 2 sausages on the grill and that little aluminum homemade Dutch oven. We'll see how it goes. I'll show you how everything looks when it's done. Alright guys, so there we are. That's what we produced there. Came out really good. It's still really hot, but I did start burning the top right at the end there. I'm glad I looked at it and got it out of there on time. Yeah, this is what we got, minus half a sausage that I already ate, but yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm gonna break some open and stuff a sausage in there and chow down. So that little aluminum foil pie pan thing worked, and I actually imagine that you could double up the aluminum foil and keep a crinkled layer in between 2 layers. And you could probably put a loaf in there and cover it with coals, and you could probably get a nice loaf of bread out of that with just some aluminum foil. I'll try that too down the road here and see how that works. See, that's all I wanted. A place to put my sausage. That loaf came out really good. It was really good, actually. It definitely works out. I'll within the next couple days, I'll definitely try to make a loaf with just aluminum foil and show you how that goes. That'll really get your kit down. If you can do a nice loaf in just aluminum foil, Dutch oven style, that's the way to do it. I'll see you guys. So I'm sitting here thinking, I'm going to take another look at this. This is the oven we just used. Yeah, I mean, when you use these aluminum pie pans and a little bit of aluminum foil, it's really light. You definitely can't get any pans that are going to be lighter than this. And you saw how that loaf came out. It baked really nice. I was thinking, like I was saying, I was going to do one with just aluminum, but I think really that's going to be a lot harder because you really need the space for the loaf to rise and a lot of hot air to get around it to really make it cook evenly. And I think that's why these pans really work so good. So, I mean, 2 pie pans, aluminum pie pans are really light, and you probably don't even need to wrap them in the aluminum foil if you can just get them to stay together, you know, while you're cooking. But all that said, it was good, and I'll be baking lots of bread this way. I have a couple other ideas too. I want to split a log in half and then gouge out the center of it and try to bake a wood Dutch oven. I've been thinking about that for a while now, and I think a wood Dutch oven, you can make like a wood Dutch oven / wood crock pot. And you put all your veggies in it, or your bread, and cover the whole thing with coals, and leave it for a while and it should cook right in there in the wood. But I don't know, we'll see. I'll show you all these things over the next couple weeks. We should be out here for 30 to 60 days this time. This is day 3. Looking forward to it. Day 4. Still extremely humid, but it's only about I'd say 75, 80 degrees out, so it's not too warm. It's pretty nice. Got the Grand Forest Brook Scandinavian Forest Axe and my Sven saw. And you want to take a look at what kind of trees you can easily work with these two. This was literally not even a minute and a half I got this down. I saw a cut here, then I take my axe and cut the chunk out real quick with 2 hits, and then saw in there, because I wanted it to drop right there. Worked really good. I'm not just cutting down these trees for no reason. One, they're the oak trees that I'm trying to get off of my property here because they're killing all of the pine trees off. And they're going to be this coming winter's firewood. Oak burns nice and hot, so I'm getting a bunch of oak together so I can keep that tent nice and warm when the snow starts falling. This is going to be a whole different story once that starts happening. Well, I just want to show you what I'm up to today. It's day 4, 27th of July, 2014. Dropping some trees. Going to build a pile of wood that's for building, and a pile of wood that's for cutting up for burning when I get a chainsaw here. My buddy's going to bring a chainsaw down for a day so I don't have to cut all my firewood up by hand. But I do drop all my trees by hand here. I'm also going to make a pile of sticks that are just for brush shelters, and for when people come out and they want to build stuff, they don't have to cut all of my trees down. I'll have a whole pile of stuff put aside so they can just take from that, quickly build their bush shelter, and get their stuff done, so when people are doing survival trainings on the property, they're not hacking all my trees down every single class, huh? So this is how the property's looking. I did put a screen tent in yesterday, which I've never used before, but let me tell you, when it comes evening time, the bugs are really, really bad out here. And you know, when you're doing 3 or 4 day survival training, you deal with them. But when you're living out here for 30 to 60 days at a time, yeah, it's nice to have a little sanctuary area where you can just go and relax and not have to worry about the bugs at all. It's nice, actually. Once you get to that point in your day, you really need it, actually, because the bugs really drive you crazy when there's this many. We have some swampland on the other side of the property running over there, and that definitely is where the mosquitoes are coming from. If you only walk, you know, a quarter mile down the tracks, there's no more bugs. You just have to get away from the swamp and the river. But, you know, if you want to have a nice water source at your property, you gotta deal with mosquitoes. Alright, day 4. See you guys. Just got my fire going, and still day 4. It's later in the afternoon. I was just about to get cooking and got my fire going, got my coals started so I could cook another batch of that Bannock, and started pouring out of nowhere. I mean, for the forest, this is more like a rainforest here in Maine. I don't know, it rains a lot. And rained last night on and off, rain on and off all day today. We probably usually get 2 good days and then 2 or 3 rainy days on and off. It doesn't rain too much though. Should be over in a little while here. But I'll give you a peek at what I'm going to use the pie pan Dutch oven again, see how that goes, and maybe make some smaller biscuits this time and cook a couple more sausages up. So maybe I'll give you another look at it. But for those of you who are looking for a long-term investment and just a great way to bring your family out camping, and just a really reliable shelter for your family if you're prepping, it all fits in a Tupperware container that big. I set this up all with the large pole setup, a canvas tent. This is a 10 by 12. I got it with the screen windows and a screen door feature, and let me tell you, in any environment, this is the best choice. Because it's been pouring now, and everything's dry in here. You don't get any leaks in the canvas tent as long as you buy the fly with it. You can hook the wood stove up. I've been in here when it's 30 degrees so far, and with the wood stove, you have to have all the windows open. So, if you guys are ever thinking about a long-term outdoor living situation, canvas tent is very mobile and definitely something to look into. Alrighty guys, making another batch. We're gonna make this quick. Yeah, that's probably enough. I don't know how much it is, but it's enough for me to have one little loaf, the size I like them, however much that is. And then I put it in. Then when you put the water in, you really need to make a little like cup in the flour. And when you add your water, you put it right in the middle, and then slowly mix it in, so it's not getting all, so it doesn't get stuck to the sides. You want a little bit of flour left at the end. If you put just the right water in, you'll have a little water left at the end. You'll have no water left at the end, and just a little flour. So you'll be able to knead it, and you'll get the outside to a point where it's a consistency you can actually take it out and knead it by hand real quick. That's what I like to do. And then I put it in the aluminum foil pie pan Dutch oven thing we're making here. So I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's done. Alright, here we go. I actually have been mixing my dough in one of these water bottles that have been cut open. It doesn't stick to it really, so it works out pretty good, especially with a plastic spoon, because it doesn't really stick to that plastic spoon. But here we go. We got the pie pans. We got the loaf in there. Hopefully it comes out as nice as yesterday or better. Put it in here. I'm going to fold this up. You want to fold it in a way where you can use your aluminum over. I mean, the point of this is to have a very light setup here, you know. This only weighs grams between these aluminum setup right here. So you just carry your, I actually don't carry flour. I carry Biscuit. It's like a pancake. So you can make pancakes with it. You can make, when I make these loaves, it's kind of an in-between. It's kind of like a piece of bread crossed with a biscuit, because I knead it so it's not so biscuit. It's more like a bread, not so biscuity. But yeah, we'll see what this looks like in a couple minutes here. So this is the second trial on this one. So the coals underneath it right now are very sparse. There's only a little bit, and I broke them up as much as I can so they were crumbled. And then I have actually 2 railroad spikes that are sitting on top of the coals to kind of give it a little space. You can use rocks or stones or something to give it a little space so the aluminum isn't sitting right on the coals. And then see, I just put 4 coals, really hot coals from the fire, and I'll keep a couple on there, but I don't put too many on there because that's what gave us that little burnt spot on our last one. So we'll see how it comes out. I'll get back to you in about 15 minutes. It looks like the rain is just about to start back up, but we might get this done before that happens. So I might finish this video up in the canvas tent. See you guys. Nope, the rain didn't want to wait. Yep, put this away. Well, it started raining. The Bannock is still out there. Should only have a couple minutes left. It just wasn't really browned up yet quite. The sausage is there. His friend is in my stomach. And I will soon have the Bannock in here and I'll show you it. Well, the lighting sucks in here, but this is what we got. And it's gonna have to do because the rain put the fire out. But it looks like it's done enough, and it's not as brown as I like it, but it looked like it did have some hot spots that were burning, so it's definitely cooked all the way through. So that's pretty good. Yeah, the aluminum pie pans work pretty good, and if you're careful, you could just use the aluminum pie pans without any foil. And those are pretty light. You get the heavy duty ones, and they'll be a little stronger. These are the light ones, but they're $1.50 for 3. So you have a backup one with you, and you can fries food on them too if you really need to. Light heat. There we go. Aluminum foil pie plate Dutch oven.